Um, just have to do it without them, and hopefully the dog will be okay.
I can hear you now.
All right. He tends to get a little ornery during any meeting I have. Okay, so Tara put me in charge again. So are we ready to get started? We have everybody, right?
Yes.
All right, awesome. So
Oh,
yeah, I don't see why we can't push you up on the agenda, Bruce.
Okay.
Debbie,
let's-
Chris, I don't think Chris is here yet.
Oh, no, he's
But,
not. Good.
He
Yeah,
said it
good
might be
point.
a little
We
later.
could-
Because if Bruce needs to go early, that works out.
Yeah, yeah, so let me just take a look at the agenda. Welcome. Old business, we have the motion to approve the October meeting minutes. Would anybody like to make
Make
a
it.
motion or have a discussion?
I'll make the motion.
Okay, great. And will anybody second? Gary
Second.
seconds, awesome. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, okay. Anybody abstain? Anybody say no? Okay, great. Meeting minutes are passed. Wonderful. We're making great progress.
I have a quick question since we're on minutes.
Yeah,
Chris did a nice job of encapsulating the 414 meeting. Do you want
yes.
that posted on our website, or should it just be filed with 414
Yeah,
things that we're working on?
Tara said it wasn't to post, but you know.
Yeah. That would be my recommendation as well,
That's
because
what
I
I
thought
thought.
that it was,
But I
yeah,
just wanted to run it by the board.
yeah, no,
before I
good
did.
question. Okay. All right. Next. Since, what?
Let's do Bruce next.
Let's do Bruce. Okay, Bruce, you're up.
All right. So I brought up some of the questions that we had from our last 414 meeting and addressed some of it at roundtable and mentioned the need to revisit the lease and mentioned that the library and the town would at some point need to retain lawyers to go over the language. The response that I received was that it would be nice to involve the lawyers as little as possible because they cost money. So I wanted to give us a different level of homework. I know that I shared the lease last time we met for people to review, but I'd like to make this suggestion. Why don't people look at that with a different kind of lens and see what types of things you would like to see remain the same and what kinds of things you would like to see. And we have a draft of a lease, which we can then have legal review. So if we want to, I mean, I'd like to see the lease be as seamless as possible, that change be as seamless as possible. I know that there were some questions, but I guess my suggestion would be go ahead and write down, I would say go ahead and make a suggestion based on whatever your preference would be. So if you wanted to, for instance, we were talking about community room usage and policy. If you have a vision for the use of the room, I would, and that you would like to see modified in a lease, I would say go ahead and suggest it. And then we can look over with a keener eye those suggested changes once we've hammered out what we think might be best. Rather than having the lawyers go back and forth and they work out something, why don't the shareholders, meaning us, write down what the vision of what would be the vision of a lease that we'd like if a
Which
414
lease?
were to pass.
Okay,
So that's with starting with the lease we already have as a sort of boilerplate and just making any changes or additions we think could make it better.
Right.
Because in reality, even if we put the 414 forward and for some reason the constituents in the town don't approve it, we still are going to have a lease in place like we do now, right? So it may be the same, or it may be slightly different. That's where we should really have, if there's gonna be two different ones for here, we're in a 414 situation, here's the lease. If we're not in a 414, here's the lease, or it may be one, but that's what we
Mhm.
should go forward with.
I
Yeah,
think that's a great idea. Why don't we plan, I saw on the agenda that the 414 discussion continuation is on the agenda to probably, I was guessing, to set up a time. Is that, so why don't we plan on that being an action item for all of us for the next 414 is to make sure that we've reviewed the current lease and identify anything that we would like to see in the, and bring that to the next meeting, anything we'd like to see in particular in the lease. And then we can have that be an action item coming out of that meeting is sort of a draft.
Perfect.
Okay,
Makes
so
sense.
It's good.
would we want to have some type of working draft available? I mean, either people can kind of redline it or put down additions or redactions in a different colored font or strike throughs. We could have several different versions that people share, or do we want, do
I
we
think
want
it
it over just
Dep- oh,
orally?
gosh. I
Or
guess it
do-
depends on how comfortable people are with technology. I mean, if we're, if in terms of like editing in Word versus editing in a Google Doc versus just having one that we all edit together at the meeting.
Okay.
So I guess that would be a question to everybody and how comfortable you all are, like, would a Google Doc where we can all edit right on it make sense? Or are you comfortable editing in a Word version, or would you rather do it together?
I guess in thinking through that as you were talking, I guess I'm willing to go kind of old school and print off the version of the lease and then just make suggestions out loud to people in the group while we're meeting.
Yep.
Could do it together.
I could,
I printed a copy, so that would work for me.
Yeah,
yeah, we could throw it into a Google Doc and put it up on, and share it during the meeting, and then just go through it and make edits.
a lot of the 414 things we discussed though don't really have anything to do with the lease itself, like.
Right.
Right.
It's employees and also.
So I don't think that would be an entire meeting. I do think that that could be a part of the meeting.
We want to, are we able to come up with a time for our next meeting? I know that's on the agenda now. Is that something we're going to set today?
I was guessing that was why it was on the agenda, because it just says,
Next
let me see it. It says next 414 meeting. So I'm assuming that was the intent. Is everybody comfortable setting up a time now?
Yeah.
Although we don't have Tara, and I mean, I think it's critical that she's there.
We could come up with something tentative and share it with her and see if it works.
Yeah, we could do that. I think we ended up meeting on a different Monday last time. Did that work out okay for everybody?
I mean, I ended up putting it in my calendar as a recurring meeting. I don't know why, but.
Oh, if it's recurring, when's the next one?
Well, I had it down December 14th at 5. It
Oh,
was
okay.
so whatever it must be. If I have to look up.
That's a Tuesday.
yeah.
So it must be, yeah, I remember I had it in my calendar wrong. I had originally put it in on Tuesday versus Monday, and I just left the recurring one there. So even if we went with recurring, it would just be the day before. So it would have been the 13th.
Yeah.
Right.
I can't do the 13th. We have a book
Okay.
discussion with an author on that date.
Oh, cool. And I am, I'm leaving on the 15th for 10 days. So, but it's not critical that it's more critical that Tara's there, I think. So.
How about the 6th?
I have a
Six
church
works
board
for
meeting
me.
that night, unless we met earlier like we did before. We met. at
I could
5.
meet earlier on the 6th. What time did we meet? It was like 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock. Yeah.
Yes.
I could do 5 o'clock on the 6th. Could anybody who can't? All right, so 5 o'clock on the 6th it is, unless Tara can't make it.
Okay,
Great.
Will you,
So
will you email
um,
her, Debbie?
what? Oh, yeah, I'll email her.
Okay, thank you.
Oh,
No
hey, guys,
problem.
sorry. I had another meeting that was right up against this one, so sorry. for
No
just-
problem.
Bruce needed to go.
yeah, I
first.
do need to go, so I don't know if there's any other questions for me before I sign off.
Does everybody need a copy of the lease sent to them?
No,
I have one. I
already.
don't need one.
Everybody?
Yeah,
has
Bruce
Yeah, Bruce sent it
it.
out last week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bruce.
Yep, all right, very good. Have a good night.
Thanks. You
Good luck.
too.
Bye.
Thanks, thank you.
All right, awesome.
Gary?
Hi, Gary. All right, let's see.
Gary,
Yeah,
Oh, hi,
you
Chris.
sent me that list that you and Stacy worked up,
yeah.
you know, things you wanted to see. I had it. I don't know what I did with it. Could you email it to me again?
Sure.
Thank you.
Does anybody else need it?
Bud.
Okay.
At some point, Yahoo is going to tell me they have to stop saving my emails, but for right now, I'm still good. In like 20 years of
Oh my
emails.
You never delete? It's been 20 years.
Only ads.
Oh my gosh.
I just went through and deleted 700 of them on one of my old emails today. Oh,
Oh
Oh,
my
those days.
All righty then. So Chris, welcome.
Want to pay the bills?
Yeah, let's pay the bills.
There you go.
Thank you. All right, so.
I'll make a motion. We pay the October bills.
Thank
Voucher
you.
72 to 188 for a total of $11,191.31.
Perfect. Anybody want a second?
Gary will second.
Okay, thank you, Gary. We got a second. Any discussion? No, all in favor?
All right.
Anybody abstain? Anybody say no? All right, we're good. Passed unanimously. Wonderful. And did you get signatures? I know I wanted to make it down and I didn't.
Yeah, we got 2 signatures, one from Gary, one
Beautiful.
from Steve, and then
Thank you
Tara saw
both.
the voucher digitally, so I think. we're
Thank you.
good.
Thank you so much. Okay. All right, now updates from Chris.
no time to breathe.
Yeah. Well, I will, can I share my screen? Oh, I don't have screen sharing. Can somebody share what I sent out or
I
you wanna
can.
allow me to share?
I
Either
can
one,
share it.
just the board report is
I
usually.
just have to
what I-
find it first.
You don't have it like right there all the time?
Oh, I have it open. It's open. I have about 100 things open though. All right, so not the budget versus the actuals,
No, just the board report.
not the balance sheet, not the profit and loss, just the board report. Got it. All
Got
right,
it.
let me share this.
Awesome. Thank you.
No problem. Uh-oh, the host is disabled participant screen sharing. Who's the host?
You are.
I
Yeah.
am.
Yeah.
It would let me share if I was.
Oh, Tara's the host.
Then
Can't
Tara.
share.
Okay.
Sorry.
Well, I will just talk about it then. And everybody,
Okay.
I'm sure everybody is like me because
I have it
everybody can
printed.
envision numbers and they see them in their sleep.
Oh,
and-
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. All you think about. We'll walk you through it. Okay. From a revenue standpoint, we are right now we're about $345,000. And that's compared to a budget of about 320. So we're over by about $25,000. Most of our lines are really on budget, things like the tax-based revenue and even some of the miscellaneous revenue. But the gifts and grants, as usual, Stacy just has done a great job this year and we're way over budget on grants. Some of those are for specific programs. But even if you take those out, we're still over budget. So, really great job by Stacy, and just always thinking about what the library can do and what else it can do for the community and how to get it funded. Just really creative. So kudos to you, Stacy. And then on the expense side of things, we are at about $237,000 compared to about 269 is where we were budgeting to be at this point. So we're under budget by about $32,000, but about $25,000 of that or so is fake because that's really relative to the New York State retirement that we haven't paid yet. So once we pay that, we'll see about $30,000 of that positive variance is wipe out. So the real only true variance we have is in contractual, where we've purchased just a little bit less. We haven't had as many expenses because there's been a whole lot less traffic. So things like even like copier supplies and those kind of things are just way under budget because the traffic's less. So if you look at where we're looking at overall, we're at $107,000 to the good right now versus $50,000 is where we were budgeting. So we're over budget by about $50,000, which is really positive. A lot of that's going to go away when we pay the retirement. But even so, we should still be showing pretty positive surplus by the end of the year. Again, that just kind of rolls into our net assets to be used maybe for a special program function or something down the road, or some year when the budget is not passed by the town or something. Our unrestricted reserves right now, we're just under $400,000. Remember, we get all of our tax levies at the beginning of the year, and then we need to make them last. So, if that unrestricted reserve was down to about $10,000, we would start to sweat, but it's nowhere near that. So we are doing just fine. A portion of that, of our cash is for the food pantry. So we have about a little over $4,000 that has been, we've collected about $8,000 in grants for the food pantry, and we've only spent, less than $4,000. So that's why we have a little bit of money still in our cash. It's for the food pantry until that one splits off all the way. And I think that everything else, we have nothing else is unusual for this month that we haven't really touched on in prior months, other than it looks like we're going to coast into the last 2 months here and still have that significant surplus. Does anybody have any questions, thoughts, worries?
All good.
All good. All right.
All right, thank you. Do we make we don't make a motion, do we? Do it to accept the report?
I don't think
so.
so.
I don't think so.
No.
Okay, thank you.
'Cause the numbers
Gary.
are what they are.
Yeah,
I don't have anything to add.
okay,
So I think we're good financial wise.
great.
Stacy, I just need to get with you to get the next year's budget up on the website.
Okay,
Okay.
so you want me to just?
But
go
no,
ahead?
there were a couple tweaks from our last meeting
Okay,
where we agreed to make our numbers match the towns.
right.
Right. So
do you have that tweaked already in a spreadsheet?
I don't. I got in my notes, but I'll make the change and send it to you.
Yeah, and then I'll just put it right up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, great, thank you. All right, so Stacy, from your report, you're up next.
All right, so I have a few things. Well, did anybody have any questions about any of the things that I reported on?
No, I'm just excited about that teen group. That's cool.
Yeah, yep. And I did manage to start the process of getting the 501c3 status on the food shed, and a couple of the bills had to do with that, some fees that you have to pay for processing paperwork. One thing I want to address right off is whether or not on Wednesday, the evening before Thanksgiving, it would be okay to close at 5. The reason I'm asking is one of the employees that I have work Wednesdays is traveling home So I don't really have anybody who can cover the shift. I mean, unless if you really want to be open, I'll go in and cover it. That's the only way that it can get covered at this point. It's up to all of you.
Do we need a motion?
I don't think it's gonna be a big deal if we close a bit early, as long as you put it up on the website,
Right.
because it's, it's the day before Thanksgiving. I don't think there's gonna be any traffic.
It's
I don't
usually
have a
not a
problem with
busy night.
Would
No.
would there be any reason that you'd want to even close at 4 versus 5? I mean, I'm just throwing it out there.
Well,
I mean, I don't know,
no, I just thought of 5 because that's the typical time, like some of the people, their shift ends at 5,
that's fine.
but
Yeah, I didn't know if there was
Actually,
any other
mostly-
reasons to want to close early, other than you're one person that is not there to cover it. Everybody else doesn't finish till 5, so your coverage is good then.
well, mostly it's Julia. So I'm just thinking out loud. So 4 could work because most of them leave at 4 and the people that would have come in at 4. So
So
it's
maybe
really
4 is
only-
a
So
4 is a
Julia
better
would get
time.
a holiday hour, which is okay because she's a full-time employee. So it
Right.
could be 4.
Right.
I'll let you decide.
How about I make a motion that we close at 4 o'clock on 11/24 for the holiday?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
I,
All right, I think we're all in favor. Sounds good to me.
And another thing I wanted to talk about, and I don't know that I would get chosen, but ALA has a policy core, and I am very interested in belonging to the policy core if they would choose me. You get 2 trainings in Washington, DC that they pay for you to get there, and you learn how to advocate at the federal level. But of course, whatever you would learn would also serve you well advocating at the state and local level as well. It's a 5-year term, and I did talk to Ron and he agreed with me that it'd probably take an hour or less of time per week to belong. So I would like to know if it's okay with the board if I go ahead and apply and see if they might choose me for this.
And what does ALA stand for the minutes?
American Library Association.
So this is a national position.
Yes.
I think that is a wonderful thing to have
Yeah.
our library director be represented at the national level personally. I think that if that's, is it a position that's voted on?
You have to apply, and there's a committee from ALA that decides, who they're going to choose to be on this policy core. So
Okay,
not
oh, so
voted
it's not,
on, it's
but it's usually, it's probably the first step towards becoming a more active in, like, at that national level too. I mean, I think that's.
I have been somewhat active. I mean, I have gone to Washington, DC pre-COVID.
Mhm.
I went and I advocated, and I really find it interesting. And I think it can only help if I learn how to advocate, learn better advocacy skills. How could that not be helpful? It's
Yeah.
only going to be.
Agreed.
Well, can I make a motion then that we support Stacy in applying for this position, and that if she should get it, that the 1 hour
Yeah.
a week is more than, whatever she needs to fulfill that.
Yeah. So would you like, is that your motion?
Yes. Did I word it a little shorter?
Okay. Oh, did anybody second the motion?
Motion to support Stacy's endeavors towards the ALA policy core. How would that be?
Absolutely. Okay, and Gary seconded. All right, all in favor? Or any discussion? Sorry, I should have asked that first. Okay, all in favor? All right. All right, everybody was in favor. That's great. Okay, yeah, I think that's wonderful.
Thank you. Well, no guarantees they'll choose me, but you never know if you don't try, which is
Yep.
my motto.
Well, and sometimes it takes a few times. That's
Oh,
okay.
yeah, it might, but then you get better at applying too.
Yep.
the next thing I need to have a motion on, more for formality than anything. So we did have a gap, and I hired Marilyn Henderson to work on Wednesday evenings. She is a retired elementary school librarian from the Gananda School District. She's very lovely. And she just is happy to do like an evening a week because she misses libraries. And she's been trained and, yeah, so I just need, because of formality, I need the board to approve the hiring of Marilyn Henderson to work 4 hours a week.
Must be retired a while because I don't even recognize her name.
Pat knew her because Pat also worked at Gananda, so I don't know how long ago.
Interesting. Okay.
Pat worked there in the early 90s, maybe.
Yeah. Well,
I'll
all
make,
right.
we hire Marilyn Henderson as a part-time library clerk.
Okay. Wonderful. Anybody want a second?
A second.
Okay, Gary second. So we have Steve and then Gary and anybody all in favor? Okay, great. Thank you.
And we already changed our December board meeting date.
Yeah.
correct? So I don't have to worry about that. The only other thing that's on my radar that wasn't in my report, but there's been a lot of talk on the librarian listserv for Pioneer, Martin Luther King Day and Juneteenth.
Hmm.
Everybody's kind of wondering what other libraries are doing regarding, are they staying open or are they observing the holiday? So I'm not going to say that we have to decide tonight, but maybe it's something to think about for the next meeting and we can talk about it. So far as I can tell on the listserv, it looks like more libraries that have already addressed this are deciding to take the holidays off in the new year. I don't suspect it will be every library system. I don't know what the percentage will be right yet, but it does look like more than last, like this, more are now saying, we should probably do this in the new year than what was done for this year. So, my thoughts are, if we were to ever hire somebody and if the person happened to be a Black person, it would be very awkward to have a conversation on, well, why aren't we observing these holidays?
Have you closed in the past?
No.
No.
Are other libraries in the system closed?
Yes. And more are joining in on closing. I don't know what the percentage is, but more for 2022 are deciding to take these days off.
It's I know that a lot of organizations and colleges are also taking that day. It's become pretty standard for most institutions.
Right.
Do we know if the town office is closed then or not? Just out of curiosity.
I don't know, honestly.
Chris asked a question. Can you hear me, Chris?
I can, sorry, I was trying to,
Going to be December
out.
20th.
December 20th?
Yes.
Okay, oh, good, that's the day I had. So there you go.
Somehow you knew, it's telepathic.
I did.
So anyway, people can think about it. Maybe we can ask the town what they do in regards to these holidays or
Yeah,
potential.
why don't you do that?
I mean, I know the Juneteenth one is a new one, right?
It is a new
Yes.
one.
Yes.
It is
So-
an official one now, though.
I don't, I don't disagree, and I'm not saying I don't support it. I just, you've done the research right now. You've got is that other libraries are already probably doing Martin Luther King. The Juneteenth, be it that it's new, there's probably still a lot of, are people adopting it, or is everybody whatever. Has Ron had any, does Pioneer have any suggestions or guidance in that regard?
Pioneer observes both.
Okay. Yeah, so I mean, it sounds like that's the direction we're going in. It's just a question of, I mean, I don't know that it makes a difference whether the town was doing it. I was just thinking, with being right there and they're being open or not being open,
I
would be
think they-
helpful, I guess.
I could be wrong, but I feel like they do take MLK Day, but this conversation, I could shoot Bruce an email. He would know, I'm sure.
Yeah, I don't think it's critical that we make the decision today. We can do it in December.
Right.
Yep.
Right. Just something to have on our
Yep.
radar, because I think the next meeting we do discuss what the days off are going to be in the new year. And so
That makes
Okay.
sense.
since it was all over the listserv today, I thought, oh, that should probably be something.
I'm not going to be here at the next meeting, but just so you know, I support taking both those days.
Yeah. I think it makes sense out of respect.
Yep, I agree. Okay. So is anything else from your report, Stacy?
I don't think I missed anything.
Okay,
Nope, I think that's it.
all right. So, Friends Liaison.
Right. The day after Thanksgiving, we're having we're not having a fish fry, but there is a fish fry that we receive money from. It's in Waterloo on 5 and 20 at the 5 Star Bank.
Saturday,
So
isn't it?
if you want to go and get what's considered to be the best fish fry in the area, you would be supporting the Friends.
Isn't that on Saturday?
It's on Friday.
Friday.
It's on Friday, the Friday after Thanksgiving, when you don't want to cook anyway.
And where is it going to be again?
It's on 5 and 20 at the 5 Star Bank in Waterloo.
Okay.
Isn't it on the 27th?
Yeah, that's the Friday.
No, that's
Oh, no, wait, that's
Saturday.
Saturday.
That's Saturday.
'Cause I put the signs up and I already advertised it in an email. I'm like, I said it was Saturday.
We've been talking about Friday, but I have the 27th written down too.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
signs say
it's Saturday. That's why
27.
I asked you.
Well, double check that with whoever set it
Well,
up.
I'm sure I'm wrong, whoever, whatever I
okay.
said, I'm probably wrong. But
Are you totally sure though? Because
no,
maybe
I-
just double check it later and let me know.
I don't see the minutes from last month. I was gonna check that. Fundraising minutes, here we go. Doug's Fish, oh, it is Saturday, I'm sorry.
Okay, good.
Yep,
'Cause I'm
Saturday,
thinking those signs are on
27th.
busy
on the
corner.
next day that you don't want to cook.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but you want to
Saturday-
shop at the
Leftovers.
outlet and get fish.
right. Go shopping after Thanksgiving and then stop and buy fish. And it's really good. I've made an effort to drive down there every year and it's really nice, really good. Okay. The Friends Christmas party is December 14th at noon. You are all invited. So if you're available at noon, we're gonna have a short meeting and then we're all bringing food and you're welcome to come. And it's always a good time.
Thank you.
That's in the community room?
That's in the community room, yeah. And
Very nice.
decorated and good food and lots of fun. The Friends purchased 5 tables for the community room.
Oh, wow.
The 4 big brown ones are gone. They have gone to the town barns for use there. We could not move those babies. We always had to get, we're all getting older. We had to always get somebody in like Steve.
Yeah, that thing almost killed me the last time.
Yeah,
Those
they were
are
awful.
so
They were
awkward
just
and
awful.
heavy.
So we bought, we were able to use somebody's Costco membership, drove to Cattaraugus? No, somewhere over in the west. Wherever that was, it was the only one that had commercial quality tables. So we bought 5, they're Friends tables, They are not to be used for other things.
When you say other things, they're only to be used by the friends?
Yeah.
Okay,
And they're marked.
okay.
And
They
and
look
they're
different
definitely marked.
slightly.
So I mean, we needed more tables for the book sales anyway. We got rid of the brown ones. We needed to buy 4. And so we bought 5. But they're good sturdy tables and
Great.
yeah, we needed them, so they're there. And the brown ones are gone, so we aren't killing ourselves anymore. I think that's about it on the Friends. Upcoming things.
It should be
Thank
noted
you.
that Jane and her husband came in and repaired all the other tables that we have.
Wow.
And they have clips on the way, so I don't get clocked anymore when I try to put them away. Because the legs will swing out and hit you in the head.
Oh,
The raffle baskets have been pulled, in case you know, we're aware that we had 2 Friends raffle baskets out this past month since the book sale. And they were pulled last week.
Yep,
Yes.
Saturday.
And so we have 2 lucky winners and we made some money on that. We are
Wonderful.
going to be having 2 more raffles coming up in 2022. So
I think people like the baskets.
yeah, I think they do.
Plus it's fun to see them. It brightens up the library kind of having them.
if
Um,
someone's on Facebook, we can share it on Macedon Matters to get people excited. It would be awesome to, as another way to draw people into the library. Although I love reading your notes, Stacy, about people that drive extra to come to the library.
They really do.
we're discussing, I'm sorry, we're also discussing having another barbecue at the spring book sale. And it would be chicken, pulled pork barbecue. So a
Oh,
little
my
bit
husband-
different than our fall fundraiser.
Is it the same caterer? Is it?
No, Black Hearts Barbecue.
Hmm.
You don't know, someone knows about them. Those people on the fundraising committee are nonstop.
Yeah.
Absolutely nonstop. They should go into business
Yeah.
because
Hire them.
they're unbelievable. I mean, you say, well, why don't we do, no, we're gonna, they're amazing people. And I
Awesome.
think they really enjoy doing this.
I think they do.
Yeah, it's a great committee.
It is.
The rest of
Very, very active.
Pioneer should get them to work for them.
Agreed. All right. Well, thank you. So we've already noted the change of the December meeting to the 20th, and we've already set up a tentative meeting date for the 4/14. And I will email Tara about that to confirm. And if she is able to make that date, then we will keep it. If not, I'm sure she'll initiate some sort of rescheduling, and that's the agenda. Does anybody have anything else to add?
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving. I second everything that Tara said. I'm so thankful for this board.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Chris mentioned that, through the grant monies for the pantry, that, we've got this, we've spent so much and we've got so much left. Stacy, does that have to be spent by the end of the year was my
Nope.
question. Okay.
Nope. And
All right,
I'm trying to make it last as long as I can. So like right now, I have an organization that's doing a food drive for us. I did go out and I used some of the money because it's Thanksgiving. So I filled the stand quite a bit. I had my husband help me. We went to Aldi's. We got all the traditional Thanksgiving type stuff, but not the turkey, because I actually thought about turkeys, but I thought
It's a tough one.
Yeah.
But
it's
that's why I was
probably
bringing
cold.
it up, because with the other holiday time in December, I thought if we had to spend it by the end of the year, then maybe we should come up with a plan. But if you don't,
We
then,
don't.
then, okay.
And I'm trying to make sure that when we don't have any food on hand or there's a holiday, like that's when I go, spend some, because I don't want the shed to be empty, but I'm trying to be careful. Like if I could, I'd fill it to the gills every week, but then the money would be gone, immediately. And the food, whatever you put in, it goes so quickly. It's just amazing how quickly it goes. So,
You usually spend like a certain amount every week or
well,
self.
yeah, it ends up being at least 500 a month. It varies, like I say, because if I have organizations either giving me additional donations of money to be able to use, or if they collect food and give it to me, then it changes how much I need to spend. But I am trying to be, like I say, careful with it. It hopefully once we have a 501c3 in place, I'm hoping it might make it a little easier to get more donations. And I don't know, we'll see. And maybe initially we just have the small board, but maybe we can get some other community members interested, which might help to increase, monetary and food drive donations. We'll see. It's a work in progress, but it's still going. So that's the good thing. And I
Good.
know that the bank is collecting food for the other food stand that's on 31, and that's a good thing. And
Actually, I don't think so. I can't quite figure out who they're collecting food for, but I don't think it's for the food stand.
yeah, it is.
It is?
Yeah, they asked me about it, and I said, because I have somebody doing a drive for December for us, or for me, or however you want to word it, for the pantry on 31F. I said, collect it and it should be for you, because I'm trying to be
That's
careful, because
Awesome.
yeah, so whatever they get is for you guys.
Because okay, I won't get into it, but okay, that's great. Thank you.
Yeah, it's all yours.
Well, not mine, Ann's.
Well,
It's
you know what I
Ann's.
mean, and whatever. And
Thank
it's
God
not
for
for-
Ann.
I mean, it's all going.
Yeah, I mean, it
I don't
goes.
care
It
who
goes-
gets the food.
Exactly. It goes so fast, no matter where it is. Like people need
Exactly.
it. People
But
clearly need it.
We
Like,
can see people pull up to the one,
yes,
and I sometimes, I'm driving up to the one that I take care of, and there'll be somebody there. Sometimes it's more than one person.
I've seen people riding on their bikes in the rain to
Oh,
get
yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
So there's need.
Yeah,
for
huge.
sure. So it's a good thing.
Yep.
It's just so hard to keep up with.
Yep, it is. It is. Yeah.
All right, everybody, enjoy.
Well, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Oh, we have to make a motion to
Make a motion
adjourn.
that we adjourn.
I
Thank you.
second it.
All right. All right. All in favor?
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy
Happy
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.
Bye.
Bye, send you
Bye.
guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.